to figure out what my spiritual gifts are and my abilities. So this question came from one of my beautiful members in the cosmic community. Hello, Tanya, if you're seeing this. And so, love you very much. So with your spiritual gifts, what I have found in my experience is it's just kind of like with your soul purpose, which your soul purpose can be anything and it can change. You are your soul purpose, okay? But oftentimes when we are wanting to find things that interest us, even with our passions, you have to go out and find those things. They don't just kind of come knocking at your door. There are some things that you can do to help download them in or key unlock them in your soul contracts. But I have found that a lot of the things that I have gotten into as far as modalities or honing my gifts is because I was researching about other things and then found them along the way. That's how your spirit guides give you those intuitive nudges. And sometimes things that you think that you wouldn't be into, it's not about you researching them specifically. It's so that you hear a keyword or you have a different level of understanding or you have a consciousness jump that leads you to the correct path that you're supposed to be on. So like with Reiki and light language and the Akashic records or human design, I wasn't necessarily looking for those things. I was researching about other stuff and heard it and I was like, oh, that sounds really familiar. Or, oh, that sounds very interesting. Let me go check that out. But I also had to realize that I'm a hodgepodge healer. Okay, so that might be you too. Some people very much specialize in specific modalities. And then there's other types of people that pick up a little bit here, and then create their own modality. So I would ask yourself too, like, is that me? Am I the type of person that's a multi-passionalite and likes to see how different things are webbed together and how there's overlays and I can build my understandings by putting a lot of stuff together? Maybe you're not meant to be a traditional practitioner, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's lots of people who do that and that's great. But you might just have a lot of different gifts that you want to create and cultivate your own special type of magic. Also, enveloping yourself in different modalities and understandings and knowledge and videos is also really beneficial because those can be the key lock activators where you're not necessarily having to learn how to do something, you're remembering how to do it, and listening to people talk about it helps open up those channels and those things from the Akasha field. So when I was learning about becoming psychic or an energy healer, I was learning about all the different clair abilities like clairsentience and claircognizance and clairaudience, and it was helping me better understand what I am naturally gifted in and things that I would have to work more at in order to achieve. Same thing with being psychic and channeling. I just watched hundreds of people talk about what feels like to be a channeler or what it means to be psychic, because everybody has such different experiences from one another. And oftentimes when you're first getting into these things, you think that there's like a specific framework or a certain path or that you should be doing it a certain way, which that is not true. There's so many people that do things in very unique ways. And so listening to so many different people's perspective on it, that's how you find people that are on similar paths and journeys as you. Like when I first started learning about psychic and things like that, I thought there was something wrong with me because I couldn't see images like clairvoyancy. But then I learned that there's this whole other group of people who actually feel images and that is how they perceive things. And once I found them, I said, oh my gosh, this is how I'm supposed to be. Or even with my human design, I thought there was something wrong with me because I would start things but not follow through and finish them. Turns out that's how my archetype is. I'm an innovator. Like I bring things to the collective and then hand them off to somebody else to follow through with. But I didn't realize that until I started learning about these different modalities and found human design to say, oh, there's a whole group of people that are like this. The next thing that I suggest is getting out a sheet of paper or Google Docs and writing out your life story, because then you can start to see continuity between the things that you're good at. And one of the other cosmic community members, she had this great piece of advice and she said, what do people always come to you for? What do they trauma dump on you? Because most often that's what you are really good at helping other people with. So if you look back at those experiences and you say, well, these are the things that people always are telling me about, that's because you have energy healing abilities or intentional listening abilities or holding sacred, safe space for other people or their inner children. So writing out your whole life story, which that's going to bring up some emotional stuff, but it'll also make you feel very self-assured and confident too, because you can say, wow, look at all these things I've been through and grown through. But you can see like, hey, maybe I'm really good at working through imposter syndrome or self-limiting beliefs or people pleasing. And lastly, your spiritual gifts sometimes are not just psychic things. Like sometimes we discount leadership and confidence and holding safe space for others and non-judgment and grace and compassion and understanding. Those are all beautiful, beautiful gifts that are foundations underneath psychic and spiritual gifts. If you want to get into that stuff or you want to help people get into that stuff, you got to be confident. You got to be working on your self-concept and the fear of persecution and being a leader and speaking your truth. So if you're the type of person that is very adept at those things, what a beautiful gift to teach other people. Like that is a special gift for you. A little side note, because I'm always going to talk about it, is working with your inner children, because your inner children are keepers of your whimsy and your magic and your creativity. And so if you have inner children inside that have dealt with a lot of trauma and unprocessed things, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for you to tap into those upper chakras in those different dimensional frequencies and spaces, because trauma energy is like very heavy and dense, okay? And when we unravel that from around them, now they're free to feel joy and happiness and bliss and peace and serenity and laughter. And so spending time with them, one, helping them heal, but also watching fun movies, going to fun adventures like traveling or sitting down and coloring with them, or going on children's meditations where you're going on fun internal journeys. That is helping them realize, hey, magic is safe. Magic is real. It also resets your outer reality out here. What you place energy and attention to is what you get more of. So if you are trying to fill your days with as much vibrancy and color and fun and invite your inner children to come with you, they are going to help you unlock all of these wild gifts inside of you, because they say it is safe and something that they can really be successful in, and that it is okay to be that way in society, and that's where we're headed anyway. And so it's a journey that you can go on together. I would love to hear what your thoughts are if you're going to try any of these different exercises, or if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments as well.